Now, when your father passed away, I believe 1972, how did that change the way Crockett Promotions was run? And how hard was it to you personally and professionally to overcome his loss?
Oh, to this day, you regret not saying things you wanted to say. That you wish that you would realize that when he'd say, "Hey, let's go out to the lake house," and well, I've got this thing to do, and you don't do it, and thinking about the business was the furthest thing from my mind. It was, I remember Jackie and I in the emergency room with him. That we were sort of standing guard there, and the nurses come in. And he'd say, "These are my two sons," and he didn't make that 72 hours, and they didn't want us to go up to the ICU. He and mom, mom said he was talking about going to Duke and the rice diet there, and it happened. Now, as far as the company, Dad ran the whole company. He and Mom out of his shirt pocket. He knew everything: people, names, numbers. When he was gone, that was it.
Why was John tapped to head the company instead of yourself or your brother?
Oh, not me.
Okay,
not me.
You didn't want that responsibility?
No, I was last one in. I was the last one. I mean, Johnny was the first, and he had the relationship with a lot of the the boys, and the other promotions too. We were still doing the Globetrotters and so forth. And Jimmy was an introvert. He had somewhat of a relationship to me,
right?
And Johnny was sort of the natural choice. There was we lived at 1111 East Moorhead. Johnny sort of had an office off. Jimmy was in another office group next door working on the film, so he was over there constantly. Later we knew it was a mistake. Johnny wouldn't keep his dipstick, and
it's pretty common knowledge he was having an affair.
Right.
So
he was my best man in my wedding. Didn't show up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So at that point, Jim Jr. was put in charge, and not you. Were you?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's no.
Okay.
No. You can only have one boss.
Okay.
It's a dictatorship.
How important was George Scott to rebuilding the Mid-Atlantic Territory?
He was.
He was key figure.
Yeah, key figure. Yeah, definitely. He had the relationship with the wrestlers that the Super Destroyer. He had with John Valentine. He had all these guys coming in, and then Rick Flair came in as Ramblin' Rickus Rhodes.
I'm going to talk about Rick coming up in a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, boy, he was a doughboy.
How would you compare? He was heavy set when he first came in. Oh yeah, I've seen the pictures.
On the gas.
Yep. What led to you becoming a regular announcer for the company? Was that something that you just fit into perfectly?
No. Tom Miller was the announcer at WRAL TV.
Dr. Tom, right? Dr. Tom Miller. Yep.
Truckin' Tom.
Yep.
He was on WBT late night when they turned their antennas up and down the East Coast. And Tom, he showed up drunk one and we go, we can't have him on here. And so I lost the flip of the coin, and so I had to announce. That's
it.
It was either Jimmy or I, and I lost, and then I I wasn't excited about it, or I didn't, but you do it, and but then too, at that sort of in that whole process, Jim Goodman, who took over the station after his grandfather's death at WRL, he said, you guys need to figure something out here. That you're taking up 3 days, my whole station, and we can make money on one-offs, a lot more money than with you. So you need to look at, well, that was my trigger. I started, everything from learning, working the camera, down the tape room, audio, switcher, Chiron machine, all that. And then eventually we bought an Evangelist truck out of Rockingham, North Carolina, gutted it. Emerson Lawson was my head engineer. He won an Emmy at the Winter Olympics in Lake Placid for hockey. And I learned how to, thumbs, fingers, from cutting, splicing cable and running it. Well,
You did it all.
learned it the hard way.
How would you compare Jim Sr. to Jim Jr. as far as running the company? How would you compare them?
Oh, Dad was more outgoing.
Okay.
That Dad had that charisma, that likability. He could tear down that wall. The business that we were in was socially unacceptable to the hierarchy in Charlotte. But if they wanted something, let's say the Shriners Circus or Festival in the Park or the Empty Stocking Fund, they would come to him. And I'd ask those crazy things. Well, Dad, why aren't you a member of Country Club? They're not going to let us in. And
Because they frowned upon the business.
Right. We were in the entertainment business.
Memories of working with some of the following announcers, and we're going to talk about some of these talents coming up too. Bob Keidel.
Oh, it's great. Still is. And wonderful. I learned so much from Bob. He was so calm, and when I'd go off on tangents and screaming at, being a fan, he was that.
Tony Schiavone. Did you like working with Tony?
Oh yeah, Tony, the kid. We had him grow a mustache to make him look older. Because see, he was the announcer for my sister's baseball team, single A in Greensboro, and I said, we got to do something here, and because of trucking time and everything, and Tony jumped at the chance, and Tony's doing
baseball again.
Baseball, but he's also doing University of Georgia.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's pretty neat. He's happy.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.